Good afternoon. This, the 40th meeting of the 72nd term of the Baltimore City Council, is now called to order. Please turn off all cell phones or put them on vibrate. This afternoon invocation will be observed by way of a moment of silence. Thank you. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. The clerk will call the roll of the members.
President Young, Cohen, Scott, Dorsey, Henry, Schleifer, Middleton, Pinkett, Burnett, Bullock, Reisinger, Costello, Stokes, Sneed. Mr. President, we have a quorum.
Thank you. We will now proceed with the adoption of the journal.
Mr. President, the journal of the proceedings from the July 9th City Council meeting is on council members' desks.
The motion to journalize, motion by Councilman Scott, second by Councilman Dorsey. All those in favor of adopting the journal say aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. The motion carried and the journal is adopted. Bills signed by the mayors are on pages 2 to 3 of the agenda. Executive nomination.
EA 18-0150 Avery B. Strachan, Member, Board of Municipal and Zoning Appeals, District 11.
This has been assigned to the Executive Appointments Committee.
EA 18-0151 Dowinlin A. Alexander, Member, Baltimore City Commission for Women.
This has been assigned to the Executive Appointments Committee.
EA 18-0152 Brittany Harris, Member, Baltimore City Commission for Women, District 12.
This has been assigned to the Executive Appointments Committee.
EA 18-0153 Brina I. Bolden, Member, Baltimore City Commission for Women, District 6.
This has been assigned to the Executive Appointments Committee.
EA 18-0154 Karen Y. Bond, Member, Baltimore City Commission for Women, District 14.
This has been assigned to the Executive Appointments Committee.
EA 18-0155 Dawn L. Brown, Member, Baltimore City Commission for Women, District 7.
This has been assigned to the Executive Appointments Committee.
EA 18-0156 Catalina Bird, Member, Baltimore City Commission for Women, District 11.
This has been assigned to the Executive Appointments Committee.
EA 18-0157 Pamela Curtis, Member, Baltimore City Commission for Women, District 6.
This has been assigned to the Executive Appointments Committee.
EA 18-0158 Etna Lawrence Williams, Member, Baltimore City Commission for Women, District 11.
This has been assigned to the Executive Appointments Committee.
EA 18-0159 Elizabeth Getzoff, Member, Baltimore City Commission for Women.
This has been assigned to the Executive Appointments Committee.
EA 18-0160 Kalia Harris, Member, Baltimore City Commission for Women, District 14.
This has been assigned to the Executive Appointments Committee.
EA 18-0161 Neonta Holloway, Member, Baltimore City Commission for Women, District 12.
This has been assigned to the Executive Appointments Committee.
EA 18-0162 Michael Hunter, Member, Baltimore City Commission for Women, District 7.
This has been assigned to the Executive Appointments Committee.
EA 18-0163 Angela D. Laparde Neal, Member, Baltimore City Commission for Women, District 13.
This has been assigned to the Executive Appointments Committee.
EA 18-0164 Gloria E. Luckett, Member, Baltimore City Commission for Women.
This has been assigned to the Executive Appointments Committee.
EA 18-0165 Shantae M. McKinley, Member, Baltimore City Commission for Women, District 2.
This has been assigned to the Executive Appointments Committee.
EA 18-0166 Michelle McNeil Emery, Member, Baltimore City Commission for Women.
This has been assigned to the Executive Appointments Committee.
EA 18-0167 Veronica Owens, Member, Baltimore City Commission for Women, District 7.
This has been assigned to the Executive Appointments Committee.
EA 18-0168 Charmaine K. Taylor Anderson, Member, Baltimore City Commission for Women, District 8.
This has been assigned to the Executive Appointments Committee.
EA 18-0169 Michelle Williams, Member, Baltimore City Commission for Women.
This has been assigned to the Executive Appointments Committee. Bills to be introduced.
City Council Bill 18-0271 Charter Amendment Inalienability of Sewer and Water Supply Systems. For the purpose of declaring the inalienability of the city's sewer system and water supply system, accepting the sewer and water supply systems, their operations and uses, from the charter provisions otherwise authorizing the grant of franchises or rights relating to the operation or use of public property or places, and submitting this amendment to the qualified voters of the city for adoption or rejection. Sponsors: President Young, Stokes, Dorsey, Clark, Scott, Costello, Bullock, Burnett, Pinkett, Cohen, Sneed, Reisinger.
Thank you. This is to the point. We don't want to sell our system. That's all I'm going to say. Okay? This has been assigned to the Judiciary and Investigation Committee. Please note that Councilwoman Middleton recused herself. Okay, thank you.
City Council Bill 18-0272, zoning sign regulations. For the purpose of repealing and replacing Title 17 signs of the Zoning Code of Baltimore City to create a new method for the classification and review of signs, creating standards for signs by zoning district, creating a new method for the creation of areas of special signage control and corresponding signage plans, defining and redefining related terms, conforming related sections, and generally relating to the zoning and development laws of Baltimore City. Sponsors President Young, Scott, Costello.
Thank you. Please note that Councilman Reisinger, Councilman Stokes is co-sponsor, Councilman Ryan Dorsey. This is setting some standards for different zoning districts of what kind of signs they can have. And I think it's going to be a benefit for the whole city. I know there's going to be probably a little opposition until they understand fully what it's all about. But I think it's a good bill, and it's going to be assigned to the Land Use and Transportation Committee.
City Council Bill 8.
Note, Councilman Pinkett is co-sponsor? Okay.
City Council Bill 18.
You got something? Okay.
City Council Bill 18-0273, repeal of Ordinance 11-562-6709, Pulaski Highway Plant Unit Development. For the purpose of repealing Ordinance 11-562, which designated certain property as an industrial plant unit development known as 6709 Pulaski Highway, and providing for a special effective date. Sponsors Scott.
Chair recognizes Councilman Scott.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, members of the council, especially those who have been here for a while, know that we have long been trying to redevelop the old incinerator site along Pulaski Highway. We've been very successful in redoing some of the other industrial area, and this will make way for businesses that are interested in coming to the site. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. This has been assigned to the Land Use and Transportation Committee.
City Council Bill 18-0274, Commercial Vehicle Monitoring System. For the purpose of modifying the governing standards of Baltimore City's commercial vehicle monitoring system. Sponsors Cohen, President Young, Stokes, Dorsey, Scott, Bullock, Burnett, Schleifer, Pinkett, Sneed, Reisinger.
Please note Councilman Costello is a co-sponsor, Council Vice President Middleton as a co-sponsor, and Councilman Henry as a co-sponsor. Chair recognizes Councilman Dorsey. Oh, I'm sorry, Councilman Cohen. I went on to the next bill.
Thank you, Mr. President. This legislation would lift the cap from the truck traffic camera program to enable us to put more truck cameras in residential neighborhoods. Right now, we have a challenge in a lot of our neighborhoods in Southeast Baltimore and across the city with trucks using routes that are not designated for them. This legislation would not in any way, shape, or form inhibit trucks from taking the designated routes that they're assigned to, but only having them in neighborhoods where they're not supposed to go. So I appreciate all of my colleagues' support, and I think this will be a good thing for the city. We've seen this program work briefly in our district over the few months of having a couple cameras, so I look forward to seeing more cameras across the city.
Thank you. This has been assigned to the Judiciary and Legislative Investigation Committee.
City Council Bill 18-0275, unidentifiable vehicles, immediate towing. For the purpose of modifying the governing standards of Baltimore City's commercial vehicle monitoring system. Sponsors Dorsey, President Young, Stokes, Cohen, Costello, Bullock, Burnett, Sneed, Reisinger, Pinkett.
Chair recognizes Councilman Dorsey.
Thank you, Mr. Council President. If a car is parked on the street with no license plates on it, it can receive a ticket. You can still identify that vehicle by the VIN number on the car. If it's still there 48 hours later, it can be towed as an abandoned vehicle as per the state law defining abandonment. But if that car is sitting there and has no tags and has no VIN number on it, whether it's obstructed or removed or defaced in some way, it still has to wait that 48 hours to be towed per abandonment. Even if it was just done in order to skirt the law, because if it doesn't have the tags on it and doesn't have the VIN number visible, you can't write a citation for it. You can't write a citation for red Honda. You have to have some other governmental or manufacturer's ID on it. And so what this bill does is create a new classification called unidentifiable vehicles and makes it an immediately towable infraction, because if you can't tell what it is, it might as well be a refrigerator sitting in the street. And I thank you, Mr. Council President and colleagues, for your support on this bill. This was recently identified as, this is a reintroduction of a bill that we didn't move forward last year after I introduced it in March of 2017, but am reintroducing here now in light of the mayor's violence reduction initiative, finding that this is a problem consistent with chop shops and illegally operating unlicensed mechanic and body shops in the city. So I believe that this actually will have an impact on car thefts in the city, and I thank everybody for their support.
Thank you. Please note that Councilman Schleifer and Council Vice President Middleton as co-sponsors. This has been assigned to the Judiciary Legislative Investigation Committee. Resolutions introduced.
City Council Resolution 18-0094R, Baltimore City Comprehensive Economic Development Projects Briefing. For the purpose of requesting that the Director of the Department of Planning, the Head of the Capital Improvement Program and the Department of Planning, the President and Chief Executive Officer, and the Executive Vice President of Baltimore Development Corporation, the Director of the Department of Transportation, the Director of the Department of Public Works, the Commissioner of the Department of Housing and Community Development, the Director of the Department of General Services, and the Director of the Department of Recreation and Parks provide a comprehensive and detailed briefing on each of his or her agency's economic development projects, and on each project supporting financial resources and incentives for the projects that are and will be occurring in each of the 14 City Council districts. Sponsors President Young, Scott, Costello, Bullock, Burnett, Schleifer, Pinkett, Cohen, Stokes, Snead, Reisinger.
Please note Vice President Middleton as a co-sponsor. This piece of legislation is just to bring all these agencies in together to talk about all of the projects that have been done in each one of your districts, and to let us know what financial resources and incentives they have to get these projects done. And this is for every district in the city of Baltimore. And this has been assigned to the Taxation, Finance, and Economic Development Committee. I want to thank all the co-sponsors.
City Council Resolution 18-0095R, Baltimore City Public Schools and the use of bottled water. For the purpose of requesting the CEO of the Baltimore City Public School System, the Director of Baltimore City's Department of Public Works, and the Health Commissioner to appear before the City Council to provide information about why the water fountains in city schools are not being used, about the costs to the school system for the use of bottled water since 2007, about the results of water testing in the schools since 2007, and about any plans to restore school water fountains and other water use equipment to safe use. Sponsors Stokes, President Young, Dorsey, Costello, Bullock, Burnett, Schleifer, Pinkett, Cohen, Snead, Reisinger.
Please note Councilman Scott, Councilman Henry, and Vice President Middleton as co-sponsors. Chair recognizes Councilman Stokes.
Thank you, Mr. President. We just calling for a hearing for the school CEO, Department of Public Works, and Health Commissioner to give us a cost on why the water fountains in the schools haven't been used since 2007. I believe Alonzo, who was the CEO, had requested that we go back to water bottle, and we've been buying water bottle for 11 years. We want to know what the cost is, why the filters have not been put on those schools, and the testing that they did about 5 years ago. They did a testing at the school board headquarters in 2 elementary schools, but the testing was not released to the public. So the idea is just to bring them in and find out what is the cost and why we haven't used the filters on them schools. Thank you.
Thank you. This has been assigned to the Budget and Appropriation Committee.
City Council Resolution 18-0096R, request for federal action, move back from the brink and toward nuclear disarmament. For the purpose of calling on Congress to act to move back from the brink of a policy that makes nuclear war more likely. Sponsors Henry, Clark, Cohen, Dorsey, Bullock, Burnett, Scott, Stokes, Snead, Reisinger, Middleton.
Chair recognizes Councilman Henry.
Thank you, Mr. President. First, we have several members of Chesapeake Physicians for Social Responsibility here with us tonight. They're the requesters of this resolution. Just like to take a moment to acknowledge them. And then I know that many of our colleagues met with them or received their materials, and that it goes to why we have so many co-sponsors for this resolution. The Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. said, "A nation that continues year after year to spend more money on military defense than on social uplift is approaching spiritual doom." During the 10 years that I've been on the City Council, I have said over and over that we need to invest more of our resources in our children. I have used the words of Dr. King, Frederick Douglass, and many others in calling for a shift in our priorities, and again today, I ask, joined with many of my colleagues, on this anniversary of the destruction of Hiroshima, that we change our course as a nation to one in which we are striving for a future in which our efforts towards building a stronger society are no longer diminished by our efforts to mutually assure our own destruction. Mr. President, I ask to suspend the rules to permit immediate adoption of this
Second by
resolution.
Councilman Scott. All those in favor of suspending the rules for immediate adoption of this resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The motion carried. The rules are suspended. Chair recognizes Councilman Henry.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the immediate adoption of this resolution.
Second by Councilman Scott. All those in favor of adopting resolution 18-0096R, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The motion carried. This resolution is adopted.
Thank you.
Chair recognizes Councilman Scott.
Mr. President, I move to make a motion to move the short titles for the remainder of the meeting.
Second by Councilman Costello. All in favor of short title for the remaining of this hearing, say aye. All opposed, nay. The motion carries. We will now move the bills on second reader. Budget and Appropriation Committee.
City Council Bill 18-0266, Supplementary General Fund Operating Appropriation, Fire Department, $4 million.
Chair recognizes Councilman Costello.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the bill favorably.
Second by Councilman Pinkett. All those in favor of approving this bill, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The motion is approved. This bill moves to third reader.
City Council Bill 18-0268, Ordinance of Estimates, Fiscal Year 2019, Capital Contribution to the Operating Budget of the Baltimore City Board of School Commissioners for Fiscal Year 2019.
Chair recognizes Councilman Costello.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the bill favorably.
Second by Councilman Pinkett. All those in favor of approving this bill, say aye. Those opposed, nay. The motion is approved. This bill moves to third reader. Housing and Urban Affairs Committee.
City Council Bill 17-0134, City Streets Opening, North Castle Street and 4 alleys of varying widths, line between East Eager Street, North Chester Street, Ashland Avenue, and North Washington Street.
Chair recognizes Councilman Bullock.
Thank you, Mr. President. The committee met on July 24, 2018 to consider 4 bills. We will be moving them all favorable with no amendments. I move this bill favorable.
Second by Councilwoman Snead. All those in favor of approving this bill, say aye. Those opposed, nay. The motion is approved. This bill moves to third reading.
City Council Bill 17-0135, City Streets Closing, North Castle Street and 8 alleys of varying widths, line between East Eager Street, North Chester Street, Ashland Street, and North Washington Street.
Chair recognizes Councilman Bullock.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the bill favorable.
Second by Councilwoman Snead. All those in favor of approving this bill, say aye. Those opposed, nay. The motion is approved. This bill moves to third reader.
City Council Bill 17-0136, City Streets Opening portion of Proctor Alley.
Chair recognizes Councilman Bullock.
I move the bill favorable.
Second by Councilman Stokes. All those in favor of approving this bill, say aye. Those opposed, nay. The motion carried. This bill moves to third reader.
City Council Bill 17-0137, City Streets Closing, Proctor Street, a portion of Proctor Alley, and a 10-foot alley line between East Biddle Street, Homewood Avenue, East Chase Street, and Greenmount Avenue.
Chair recognizes Councilman Bullock.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move this bill favorable.
Second by Councilman Stokes. All those in favor of approving this bill, say aye. Those opposed, nay. This motion is approved. This bill moves to third reader. Judiciary and Legislative Investigation Committee.
City Council Bill 18-0219, City Property, naming the fire station located at 5714 Eastern Avenue to be the Constantine Previs Fire Station.
Chair recognizes Councilman Costello.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the bill favorably.
Second by Councilman Cohen. All those in favor of approving this bill, say aye. Those opposed, nay. The motion is approved. This bill moves to third reader.
City Council Bill 18-0253, city property naming the footbridge over Stony Run to be the Amy Mickle footbridge.
Chair recognizes Councilman Costello.
Thank you, Mr. President. There's amendments on my colleague's desk. I move the amendments.
Second by Councilman Stokes. All those in favor of approving the amendment say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The motion is approved. The bill is amended. Chair recognizes Councilman Costello.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the bill favorably as amended.
Second by Councilman Stokes. All those in favor of moving this bill say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Motion carries.
City Council Bill 18-0259, Fire Code repealing Appendix D.
Chair recognizes Councilman Costello.
Thank you, Mr. President. Before I move the amendments and the bill, I request that I defer to our colleague, Councilman Dorsey.
Chair recognizes Councilman Dorsey.
Thank you, Mr. Council President. Thank you, Mr. Chair. The council made a request to the fire department to provide policy solutions as a potential alternative to the passage of this bill. After asking that we hold the bill for some time, we did not receive any such policy recommendations or requests or potential solutions from the fire department to pose an alternative to the passage of this bill, which I believe really actually solves the problem. And having spoken extensively with members of the development and the cycling community and others throughout the city, believe that this really is the right solution. And shall I make a motion to move the bill?
No, he has to do it.
Thank you.
Chair recognizes Councilman Costello.
Thank you, Mr. President. There's amendments on my colleague's desk. I move the amendments.
Second by Councilman Dorsey. All those in favor of moving these amendments say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The motion carries.
Amendments. That was just the amendments.
For the amendments. Oh, now you're going to move the bill. Chair recognizes Councilman Costello.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the bill favorably as amended.
Second by Councilman Dorsey. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. This bill moves to third reader.
City Council Bill 18-0267, city property renaming Lyndhurst Elementary Middle School building to Wildwood Elementary Middle School building.
Chair recognizes Councilman Costello.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the bill favorably.
Second by Councilman Burnett. All those in favor of approving this bill say aye. Those opposed, nay. The motion to approve this bill moves to third reader. Land use and transportation.
City Council Bill is 17-0164, zoning conditional use conversion of a single-family dwelling unit to 2 dwelling units in the R8 zoning district, variances 2240 East Baltimore Street.
Okay. Chair recognizes Councilman Reisinger.
Mr. President, I move the finding of facts.
Second by Councilwoman Sneed. All those in favor of approving the finding of facts say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The motion is approved. The finding of facts are adopted. Chair recognizes Councilman Reisinger.
Mr. President, I move the bill favorable.
Second by Councilwoman Sneed. All those in favor of approving this bill say aye. Those opposed, nay. The motion to approve this bill moves to third reader.
City Council Bill 18-0218, zoning conditional use conversion of a single-family dwelling unit to 2 dwelling units in the R8 zoning district, variances 807 North Monroe Street.
Chair recognizes Councilman Reisinger.
Mr. President, I move the finding of facts.
Second by Councilman Bullock. All those in favor of approving the finding of facts say aye. Those opposed, nay. The motion is approved. The finding of facts are adopted. Chair recognizes Councilman Reisinger.
I move the bill favorable.
Second by Councilman Bullock. All those in favor of approving this bill say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The motion to approve this bill moves to third reader.
City Council Bill 18-0239, zoning conditional use conversion of a single-family dwelling unit to 2 dwelling units in the R8 zoning district, variances 1613 West Pratt Street.
Chair recognizes Councilman Reisinger.
Mr. President, I move the finding of facts.
Second by Councilman Bullock. All those in favor of approving the finding of fact say aye. Those opposed, nay. The motion is approved. Finding of facts are adopted. Chair recognizes Councilman Reisinger.
Mr. President, I move the bill favorable.
Second by Councilman Bullock. All those in favor of approving this bill say aye. Those opposed, nay. The motion is approved. This bill moves to third reader.
City Council Bill 18-0269, rezoning 5601 Eastern Avenue.
Chair recognizes Councilman Reisinger.
Mr. President, I move the finding of facts.
Second by Councilman Cohen. All those in favor of approving the finding of facts say aye. Those opposed, nay. The motion is approved. Finding the facts are adopted. Chair recognizes Councilman Reisinger.
Move the bill favorable.
Second by Councilman Cohen. All those in favor of approving this bill say aye. Those opposed, nay. The motion to approve this bill moves to third reader. Third reader for final passage.
City Council Bill 18-0187, Zoning Use Regulation, Live Entertainment. President Young, Cohen, Scott, Dorsey, Henry, Schleifer, Middleton, Pinkett, Burnett, Bullock, Reisinger, Costello, Stokes, Need.
This bill is approved.
City Council Bill 18-0209, Zoning Code Modifications. President Young, Cohen, Scott, Dorsey, Henry, Schleifer, Middleton, Pinkett, Burnett, Bullock, Reisinger, Costello, Stokes, Need.
This bill is approved.
City Council Bill 18-0210, Zoning Conditional Use, Amending Ordinance 16-469. President Young, Cohen, Scott, Dorsey, Henry, Schleifer, Middleton, Pinkett, Burnett, Bullock, Reisinger, Costello, Stokes, Need.
This bill is approved. Committee announcement. Chair recognizes Councilman Stokes.
The Executive Appointments Committee will hold a hearing Wednesday, September the 26th at 10 a.m. to view the following nominations for Board of Municipal Employee Zoning Appeals. Avery Stratton. The same day, the Executive Appointments will hold a hearing on Wednesday, September the 26th at 10 a.m. for Baltimore Commission for Women. It'd be Don Brown. I'm sorry. Dolan Alexander, Brina Bowden, Elizabeth Gedorf, and Michelle Williams. Also for October the 3rd at 10 a.m., the Baltimore Women for Commission will have a hearing at 10 o'clock for Dawn Brown, Catalina Bird, Lanita Holloway, Shantae McKinley, Charmaine Taylor Anderson. Also, for those same Baltimore City Commission for Women is for October the 17th at 10 a.m. Kalia Harris, Michael Hunter, Angela Prade Neal, Gloria Lockett, Veronica Owens. Also on October the 24th for the Baltimore City Commission for Women, Brittany Harris, Karen Bond, Pamela Curtis, Etna Lawrence Williams, Michelle McNeil Emery. Thank you.
Thank you. Chair recognizes Councilman Costello.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to suspend rules 10-2 and 10-3 to announce a hearing.
Second by Councilman Rossing. All those in favor of suspending the rules and announce the hearing say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The motion carried. Chair recognizes Councilman Costello.
Thank you, Mr. President. Judiciary and Legislative Investigations Committee will hold a hearing today, Monday, August 6th at 3 p.m. in the Curran Room, not in chambers, on Bill 18-0271, Charter Amendment, Inalienability of Sewer and Water Supply Systems at the request of Council President Young.
Thank you. Chair recognizes Councilman Bullock.
Thank you, Mr. President. On Thursday, September 13th, 2018, the Housing and Urban Affairs Committee will be hearing Council Bill 18-0252, Ordinance Urban Renewal, York Woodburn Business Area Amendment, and that will be at 3:40 p.m. here in Council Chambers. Thank you.
Thank you. Chair recognizes Council Vice President Middleton.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Taxation, Finance, and Economic Development Committee will hear City Council Bill 18-0221, Thursday, September 27th, 2018 at 11 a.m. here in Council Chambers, and that's the recordation and transfer taxes, surtax, dedicating surtax proceeds to Affordable Housing Trust Fund. That date was changed due to schedule conflicts.
Thank you. Any more committee announcement, regular announcements? Okay. All right. This meeting is adjourned. Chair recognizes Councilwoman Middleton.
The next meeting of the City Council will be held today, Monday, August 6, 2018, at 5 p.m. sharp.
Thank you. There being no further business, this concludes the 40th meeting of the 72nd term of the Baltimore City Council.